So with the recent lack of excitement from Destiny since the launch of Lightfall, what better time to make a comeback than Season of the Witch? Eris Morn has always been my favorite character, and now that she's back on the main stage, I have to see what's going on. And with the new season came a bunch of new weapons that I can get behind as a Void Hunter main. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new Void Scout Rifle, Brya's Love, and why this perk pool makes Void mains get a little bit of the limelight this time. I'm JT Goonie, and if you are new here and you enjoy this Destiny weapon review, consider getting subscribed because I make videos like this all the time, so stick around and join the community. We'd love to have you. Alright, so let's talk stats. Scout Rifle has been making somewhat of a comeback with weapons like Hung Jury, Transfiguration, and the Doom of Kelchis finding their way into the fold. I think that Brya's Love is going to fit just well enough in this like kind of Scout Rifle revolution that we're having with a whole bunch of different Guardians. So talking about stats, we have a pretty great setup at the base. We're going to start with that 62 impact. It's not too low, not too high for this kind of archetype. It is a precision frame Scout Rifle, so that kind of fits just in line with the average on that archetype of Scout Rifle. 48 range, which we can bump up with the barrel and mag perk like Flared Magwell. 40 stability, which we can improve on again. 47 handling, which is not fantastic, but it's also not super bad. There are worse options out there. And 40 reload speed, which right now doesn't really matter because like I said, Flared Magwell is going to bump that up quite a bit, and it's pretty slow, but with some of the perks that we're going to talk about later, it's not going to really make that much of a difference. Now for PvP, I'm just going to level with you guys. I don't play PvP unless I absolutely have to. So I'm going to leave the trial and error portion of this review to the Grenader Jakes of the world. I wish I could have some more information for you on this, but if I'm, like I said, if I'm being honest, I just do not play PvP. I haven't played it since Beyond Light, and I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. I might hop in just for like the pinnacle reward every once in a while, but honestly, PvP, I just want to get in and get out. I'm not going to lie to you. Gambit is the same deal. I do play quite a bit of Gambit, but I feel like this weapon doesn't really show its legs in Gambit, so we're not going to talk about that in this video. All that being said, where I have been using this weapon is in activities such as Savathun Spire. I took it into the Vow of the Disciple raid. I am using it in the dungeon, farms, and lost sectors. And let me tell you, if you have a build that focuses around void debuffs and long range engagements, this is the Scout Rifle for you. Let's talk about the perk options and what roles I think you should be looking for once you craft it, and once you unlock the pattern, what you should be building for on this weapon. Perk slot 1, we have Keep Away, Loose Change, which is a new perk, Perpetual Motion, Perfect Float, Shoot to Loot, Rapid Hit, and No Distractions. Keep Away, Shoot to Loot, and Rapid Hit should be your #1 priority on this weapon. For this perk slot, Rapid Hit grants plus 25 to stability and plus 60 to reload speed, all for just hitting precision hits on your enemies. Shoot to Loot comes in if you need your linear fusion DPS checks and you run out of heavy ammo, then you can just shoot a brick from across the room, and there you go, there you have it. This weapon, or this perk, is absolutely insane. The best perk for this weapon in slot 1, in my opinion, is Keep Away. You do get plus 10 range, plus 30 reload speed, as well as narrowing your accuracy cone by 5% when no enemies are within 15 meters. Sounds like a win-win in my book. I can picture getting into those Crota's end raid when it does come back and just laying down as many rounds as you possibly can. And with that kind of reload speed buff and keeping you as accurate as possible when you run out of rockets. In my eyes, it's a no-brainer. Before we get into the perk 2 slot, if you would consider dropping a like on the video, it would really help the channel out a lot. And if you are already not subscribed, you should. I will be making Destiny 2 content a lot more now that I've been playing, and I would love to get your feedback and opinions. So drop a comment down below on how you feel about Brya's Love. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop on into the perk 2 slot. The perk 2 slot is where the magic happens. Precision Instrument, a new perk. Explosive Payload, Frenzy, Adagio, Pugilist, Golden Tricorn, and Destabilizing Rounds are what we have on offer. The #1 perk, if you are running a Void subclass as much as I do, would be Destabilizing Rounds. Landing a final blow on an enemy will cause them to explode, making nearby enemies volatile. Pair that with Echo of Harvest for Void Hunters. Every week, target will drop an orb. Echo of Expulsion, even more ways to make things blow up and weaken them at the same time. Echo of Undermining, which will apply even more debuffs to the enemy when you hit them with a grenade. There's so many ways to take advantage of this perk, and so many ways to make even some of the hardest content feel just that much easier for you. I'm going to put Explosive Payload and Adagio as the yin and yang of this perk pool almost. Adagio gives you a 30% increase in damage, but it slows the rate of fire by 20%. It is a good option, but probably not the one I would be willing to sacrifice my rate of fire for, just for a 30% increase in damage. Explosive payload, on the other hand, is kind of nutty. It makes 50% of the damage per shot it applies. It is explosive damage, which could be huge if the damage multiplier is right for precision hits on any target. I could see a lot of people opting to go with Frenzy, which grants a 15% buff to damage, 100 reload, and 100 handling for 7 seconds when you are in combat for 12 seconds. And Precision Instruments, which I think is a game changer. Landing consecutive shots will grant you increased precision damage. Light GG does not have the stats on that perk just yet, but I'm sure the boys are in the lab right now going to town trying to figure out what those numbers are. So I know you're asking yourself right now, Goonie, what are you going to use when you craft it? What rolls are you going to make? Which is a great question for sure. I would probably start with Arrowhead Break for the +10 in handling and to keep that recoil under control. Flowered Magwell for the +15 bump to the reload speed and the +5 on the stability, just to keep that recoil again nice and in control. In the perk 1 slot, I would either choose Rapid Hit or Keep Away. I love a good reload speed buff, and a buff to stability is never a bad option. And in perk slot 2, Destabilizing Rounds is my first choice, but if I were to be looking for straight up damage output, Precision Instrument, Explosive Payload, and Frenzy should be your top pick. I'm very much a support player when it comes to Destiny. So if I can debuff everything in the room and grant my allies a buff and damage with my abilities, then that's what I want to do. But for those of you who want to be deadly from a distance, this weapon will suit you just as well. For some reason, everybody seems to hate on scout rifles. I'm not really sure why. It's honestly one of my favorite type of weapons to use in the game, but I feel as though they do have a spot in everyone's loadout. It's just a matter of finding the right one. I feel like Brya's love is the Void scout rifle I've been waiting for this whole time. I can't wait to see what some of the other weapons from Season of the Witch have to offer. That fusion rifle, man, it looks so much fun, and I cannot wait to make that video because I am having so much fun using it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. The final shape is around the corner, and there are a lot of weapons that we have now in Season of the Witch. Brya's love is absolutely insane, so I can't wait to show you guys what I'm cooking up. I've been JT Goonie, and I'll see you guys in the tower.